Well, hello friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks, and I am so glad you joined me. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful, basic beanie. Doesn't look very basic, does it? But it is. It's a basic beanie, and that's what we're gonna make. And I'm going to use the Red Heart All-in-One Granny Square yarn in the color Soft White-Amethyst. I'll put the details to the yarn in the description box below. But I have a video on my channel showing you how to use this yarn to make granny squares, and you can go watch that and see what my review on that is. But we are going to use this yarn to make a beanie. I was going to do this several months ago and actually forgot about it, and I was sitting in my living room drinking a cup of coffee this morning, and I thought, oh, I have a ball of this yarn that I was going to experiment with. So this is the product that came from it, and I love it. But you're going to want to stick with me to the end of the video, friends, because I'm doing a little experiment that you're going to want to see and take part in. I think I've never done it before, and I love how it looks. I love the results. So join me at the end of the video as well, and you will find out what that little experiment is. Now for the removable pom-pom on this beanie, I am using one of my favorite gadgets, and that is this cinch guide and this removable Pom-kin. I will put the link to ordering this in the description box below. It is truly one of my favorite things. I love it. You can attach the pom-pom or you can remove it and wear it without. And it's one of those things that you're just going to want to have. So check that link out below. And friends, if you are ready, we are going to use our 46 needle Addi. That's what I use, but you can also use your 48 needle center, and that will be perfect too, or make a smaller one for a child on your 40 needle. That would be great too. And once you have your yarn of choice, your color of choice, and your machine set up, we're going to make a beanie together. I am ready to start. I have my coffee in hand. I have my last white, my first black needle in line with my yarn feeder. If you are new to my channel, friends, take a black permanent marker and mark that red divider between the last white and the first black. You will always see the end of your row coming around, and it's very, very helpful. We're going to take our yarn. Now this is just at a random place in the ball because I've made a few of these until I decided, no, that's not for me. We're going to see what this will do. And we're going to cast on going in front of that first black, behind the next, in front and behind, all the way around. Now this is Red Heart Super Saver yarn, so or Red Heart yarn, I do not know how it's going to work in my machine, but I am anticipating, I just set my counter to 0 before I get to the end of the cast on row. But I'm anticipating that I'm going to have a difficult time with it. But hey, it's okay. I'm going to persevere through it, and you're going to persevere through it with me. And we're going to see what this can do with the beanie. I'm excited for it. I thought of this a long time ago, actually. After I gave up on the notion of granny squares, I thought, I'm going to make a beanie. And then I just forgot about it. But this morning as I was sitting upstairs having coffee, I thought, oh, I should see what that looks like. So I'm going to pull some yarn out of my skein here. Now I'm going to go slowly on my first round. That always helps to make sure those little loops go down over the red teeth, because there's no weight helping them pull down, so you got to go slow. And that was success so far. And then I'm going to just maintain a slower speed so that I can watch those loops. I want to make sure they're going down over the red teeth so I do not get any tucked stitches. And with Red Heart yarn, sometimes it can be a problem. Oh, there, it changed colors. I don't know what this is going to look like, because each one of these color changes, the color strands are different lengths. Because when you're making the granny square, it starts out with a shorter length for the first row. Then the next row is a longer length, of course. And then it graduates. How many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each color changes a different length. So this could look really weird. I have no idea. We're going to see. And of course, you will have seen it already at the beginning of the video. But I'm excited about it. It's a fun little thing to just try. Why not? So far, it's working great. So I'm going to just increase my speed just a little bit. And friends, I have just a little bit of tension put on it. It's between, this is the least, when you use your fingers, this is the least amount of tension, because it just slips through here. If you want a little tighter tension, then move it up just a little bit. If you want even tighter, put it between your knuckles and you have a firmer tension. But I'm going to do the loosest tension. because when you have yarn that is hard to work with, that sticks on your needles like red heart, and I can almost see that it's going to happen soon, then you want to have a little bit looser tension so that it's not so tight on the needles and it has an easier time slipping down over those two little red teeth. But I have found the sweet spot, which meaning I have the right tension now and I have the right speed. So I'm going to follow this speed the entire time for my beanie because I'm seeing that it's working and I'm not getting tucked stitches. You have to figure that out, friends. You got to know what tension and what speed to use for on your machine for the type of yarn that you're using. And then you just got to go for it. I'm going to just maintain this speed and I'm going to go until my project touches the table, and then I'll come back and show you what we do so that we don't... if it touches the table and pushes up, then this will push up and you're going to risk dropping the loops off your red teeth and dropping a row. I think this is going to look cool. Right on. So I'm going to keep going, friends, until I get to approximately row 60, and then I'll see you back. But if you just want to keep going and you know how to fix that little tension problem by rolling up your donut, keep going till you get to 140 rows. This is a basic beanie. I'm not doing anything different, just a basic beanie. 140 rows, and I'll see you when you get there. With the tension that I'm using, it took 62 rows to touch the table, and I am going to love this. Oh, you know what? I didn't know if it was what it's gonna look like. Doesn't look, once we stretch it out, oh my goodness, you guys. I get excited because if this makes such a hat that's gonna be as beautiful as what I think it's gonna be, this yarn will be worth it. Just for this purpose and for other things too. I mean, why wouldn't it work? I'm thinking, I thought maybe because the stripes were so vastly different in length. Well, not vastly, but the first color is very short, and then again it graduates, and I thought, I don't know if that's gonna, if the color break is gonna be weird or what, but let's give it a go, and I can tell it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna absolutely be beautiful. I can't wait to put this together with you. So I'm gonna keep going. And you know what? This yarn surprises me because I have never had luck. Oh, I got a tucked stitch in one there. Do you know why? Because I increased my speed now that I've got you on the line. I wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to bring it around. If you are new, we are going to fix a tucked stitch together. See, friends, this is why we have to be careful. So there's the one there. I'm going to bring it past my yarn guide. I'm not going to let this needle knit it. I'm going to pick that yarn out of there. This is the needle to the right of it. I'm going to let that one drop down. Then I'm going to pop that yarn between those two red teeth to hold it. This is just what I do. And then I put it around the little knob there, and then it holds it in place. Then I can go ahead. I'm going to take this one off because this one's going to tuck. You see, it's got two little yarn loops on there. I'm going to put my hook underneath. Nope, from the front. I haven't done a tucked stitch for so long. I have to think about this. From the front and into the yarn, into the loop. Then I'm going to pull the loop behind that strand and then grab that strand again. And I'm going to pull it through that loop. Pick up the loop if you have to. Then if you pop those two strands on either side under that divider, it helps you to pull that loop over. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to take this, you're going to go underneath that divider, you're going to go backwards just a little bit so you can get your yarn's tail strand underneath that needle, and you're going to knit that one off, but the other one had a tucked stitch too, so there were two in a row. So I'm going to drop that down, repeat the process in between the red teeth, take this one off. There's only one loop on there now because it was the row back. And I'm going to go down, see, there, untwisted, until I get to the loop that I need. And in this case, it's two strands. So you can either go under both strands or maybe, so I don't confuse you, I'm going to go under that first strand into the loop. I'm going to push the loop behind that strand, put that strand back on the hook, and then I'm going to take that strand and put it through the loop. Okay, then I'm going to hold that with my finger. I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to put the loop behind the strand, grab the strand, pull the strand through the loop. Then I'm going to push these down on either side of my red divider, put that loop over the red teeth. I have not done this for so long. That's a good thing, but it's fun. And then we're going to back up just a little bit to get that yarn underneath that needle. And we're going to keep going, and I'm going to help push down some of these because I stopped and I want to make sure. But that, friends, is what happens when you go even a little bit faster than what your yarn wants you to do. Now I'm going to watch very, very carefully. And yeah, I was talking to you and I lost my rhythm and I sped up just a little bit, and that's what it took. So you have to, again, like a broken record, but it is truth. You have to find the tension and the speed that your machine likes for the particular yarn that you're using. And when you do that, you will have much more success. When you go ahead and you just crank like crazy, you miss tucked stitches, and that's when you take away from the quality of your work. Okay, now I promise you, I do not condemn those people who want to use a drill. I know that there are many health reasons for it, and God bless you, seriously. But if you don't have to use a drill and you're using difficult yarn and then you're ending up with a bunch of tucked stitches, that is why, because you can't control it. And when you put that thing on high speed, you can't watch these little loops as they go down over the teeth to make sure you're not getting tucked stitches. And so that's why, you know, I find this method of just hand cranking the best with different yarns, because I'm feeling like I'm opening up a can of worms here, but I think that you can control it then, because every yarn has its own little ways that it likes to be used and to be worked. Some just slide through your machine like nobody's business, and you never have to worry about tuck stitches. Others are a little bit more difficult, and you have to know the yarn, and you have to know your machine and how it works with it, and then do the steps accordingly to make it a success. So that's all. So I'm going to keep going, friends, until I get to row 140, and this is the speed that I need to maintain. Again, I'm able to watch all those loops as they pass by. I don't always watch the loops for every yarn that I'm working with, but this one, being Red Heart, sometimes, and it's, you know, sometimes this is the type of yarn, this coarser yarn, that gives us the problem. So then you want to take those extra precautions. But I'm going to keep going until I get to row 140, and then, friends, I will meet you back. I am on row 140, and I'm going to watch for that black divider to come around and stop in front of my yarn guide, and we have finished the task. I'm going to cut off a yarn tail that goes around my barrel 1.5 to 2 times, and we're going to cast off. Cutting that tail, we're going to open the latch. Make sure it goes between the last white and the first black needle. Also make sure you shut your yarn feeder, because you don't want to clip it with your needles when you pass by and then break something. I'm going to thread that needle, and we still have to knit these 2 needles, so I'm going to make sure those knit successfully. Then we're going to turn our barrel, and now that the needle has dropped down, those stitches are able to come off. So I'm going to take my needle, put it through the stitch, and we're going to cast off. This is the drawstring cast off. And we're going to go all the way around our barrel, just like this, until we get every stitch off. If you're new, I just want to make mention, oops, I got a knot in there. There is a difference in the feel of this yarn. It's coarser, and so you got to be more careful, because these things happen. That's why it tucks too. But when you're, if you are new and you haven't got the feel of the tension yet, put your finger over the next one as you take this one off. Because if you pull up too high on this one, even slightly too high, this loop will fall off the red teeth, and then you'll drop a row. Okay, we don't want that to happen. So go ahead, remove all your stitches, and when you have that done, I will see you back for the exciting reveal. So here we have it. Oh, it's exciting. We're going to take that needle off. We're going to unroll our donut. There's an obvious feeling difference, like texture difference from Red Heart yarn. This is pretty coarse, but it's, you know what? In all honesty, I would say it's going to be warmer than most yarns, because it is a little bit thicker. We're going to stretch it out widthwise, but I'm loving these colors, and lengthwise, and that softens it up. Give it a good stretch. And once you have that done, oh, friends, you can feel the difference. It just softens it up, automatically makes it softer. Oh, I love it. This is so nice. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add we're going to close it up in such a way that we can add a Pom-kin. It's a removable pom-pom maker, and I'm going to show you how it works. It's one of my favorite things. As you know, it comes with a little cinch guide, and that's what we're going to use to cinch it closed. We need to have the right space. I'm going to have the link to that in the description box below if this interests you at all. If it doesn't interest you in buying them, then I also have a video where I show you some homemade removable pom-pom holders, and you can find that on my channel, but I would highly suggest these. You're going to stick that little tensioner or cinch guide. Well, let's pull this a little bit tighter. When you're pulling this tight, make sure that you smooth out the top, because you will get a much neater finish. It won't be all bunched up, and that's what I was struggling with here. Okay, we're going to pop that in there. That's the width that I need for my pumpkins to easily fit in there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to now close the end just a little bit tighter so it holds its shape. Pop that on our needle. We're going to go around. We're going to pick up that top row of stitches just like that. Very, very easy to do. And you're going to pull. And continue around the circle, picking up that very top row of stitches and pull. Don't pull so tight that you bust your yarn tail. That would be very sad. Continue around. I'm almost around. I got a little bit of section left. And I'm going to pick up this section right here. And I'm going to cinch. Then I'm just going to pick up one strand or two, tie it off in a knot. I can go ahead and remove that cinch yarn. I'm going to put this back on my needle because it helps me to get it into the center and bring that through to the other side. Pop your hand into the center of your beanie. Pop your needle in there, grab it with your fingers, but also pinch the top and bring it through so that you are putting your beanie in half. Now, there's, as you know, a varying amount of rows that people use to make a beanie. All the way from 120 to 140. Now you're going to do the same thing with this one. From 120 to 140, I do 140. I'm in the camp. I think I'm one of the lonely ones in the camp that do more rows because I like a wider brim. I feel, you know, I live in Manitoba, and if we're going to have a brim, we need it to be substantial so that it covers our ears and gives us that extra layer of warmth. And so it still fits on my head the way that, you know, you would have it if it was a lesser rose, like as far as how close it can get to your head, but you just roll up the beanie and make it wider. I've got my finger in that little hole there. I guess I don't need to quite do that yet. You want to make sure that this yarn tail is out of the way, and you're going to just smooth this out. This yarn again is noticeably thicker. Stick your cinch guide in there, and you're going to take your needle and you're going to go around and you're going to reinforce that once, just like we did the other one, and then I'll see you back. When you have that done, you want to line up your two tails so that they're beside each other. So where your tail is on your inside beanie, inside edge of your beanie, you want to have it on the same side as here. If it's across and it's on this side and this is here, when you tie it, you're going to put a barrier in there and have a harder time getting your pumpkin in there. So make sure that they're close to each other on the same side of the little circle. And then you're going to tie the two together, making sure that the inside one is right up close to the outside one. Give that a nice firm knot. I always do 3. Then put these back on your needle. Pop it in between the 2 layers. Pull it out. Cut it off. And friends, Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. See what I mean? It's pretty long, but when you roll it up, you have a beautiful, beautiful brim. Now that's this side, and then the white comes to the top. I'm gonna see if I like the other side better. Let's see. I mean, the color changes are the same, so it shouldn't make much of a difference, but sometimes it does, and I'll show you why. Look at, we've got the purple at the top now, just how it lands, and I like that better. So mind you, look at the top is white, and how was it on the other side? I pay much attention to detail, like in any project that I do, as you know. I pay attention to that detail, and I make sure that I have it the best that it can be. I like that at the top better than the white, so I'm going to have the white on the bottom here because this is going to be a nice contrast to my pom-pom. Oh, so beautiful. So I have 2 pom-poms here because we're going to do an experiment. We take that pom-pom elastic, put it on our finger, and you shake this out really good, or you get a blow dryer and you blow dry it on high heat for 10 seconds, and you get a much, much nicer pom-pom. I'm going to pop that around my pumpkin, wrapping it twice. I'm going to push that down into the middle. And then if you just want a single pom-pom, then all you do is you squeeze that. You pop it through your beanie, through the holes, and then it releases, and then you have a beautiful pom-pom that's removable. I want to try a double one. I've never done this before either, just like I've never used this yarn on a beanie, but hey, today's the day of experimenting, so we're going to experiment. I'm going to wrap that twice. Move those elastics down into the center. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but hey, I'm just experimenting. And you know what? I'm taking it for the team. So either you're going to like it or you're not. So, and this is hard to bend because it springs back, but that's a good thing. You want it to spring back because then you know when it's on the inside of your hat, it's not going to come out. I'm going to try that actually. Might be okay. That's squeezed really good. Put my hand in there and I'm going to pop that in through both of those little openings. It's not as hard as I'm making it look. And then you pull it up and look how it just opens. Push it down. It's not going nowhere, okay? And then I'm going to give it a good shake. And I have a huge pom-pom. I actually really, really like that. You can't tell that that is 2 pom-poms. It just looks like a huge one. And that does this beanie justice. I'm leaving it. I like it. I hope you do too. But look at that. There it is. I actually took my blow dryer and I blow dried it on high heat for 15 seconds because that's the best way to make your pom-poms look absolutely gorgeous. And I love how it looks. There is a tiny little division still between the two that you can see, even in this picture, but I think it looks great that way. I actually love it. So there you have it. You can add 2 pom-poms to your little pom-kin maker, or you can take the pom-kin out and wear it without the pom-poms, and that looks beautiful too. And no, the hole is not too big. Nobody will ever even notice it. It looks great. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Glad to spend this time with you. Please, again, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and the link to my Facebook group will be down in the description box below. I'd love to see the colors that you choose to make your basic beanie in. So friends, thanks again for spending this time with me. I always enjoy it, and I appreciate you so much. So have a blessed day. Take care, friends.